Hey, what's going on, guys? Mr. Brickswag back here with another video. Today we have yet another Rogue One video. This will probably be the last Rogue One video for a while. Unfortunately, the other two sets that I would like to get from the Wave, Director Krennic Shuttle, and the U-Wing are extremely expensive. Those things go for over $200 nowadays, and I'm not sure I have quite the budget for it. I gotta think about it. The minifigure lineups are really nice, and I would like both of those sets for different reasons, and so I gotta think about it real hard, but probably won't be for the foreseeable future. Which means that the set that is coming to you guys today is going to be the other set from the Rogue One First Wave, and this is the ATST. Now, weird story behind this one. I actually got this one originally not because it was from Rogue One, but because I wanted all the recent ATSTs. As you guys know, I already have the one from The Mandalorian, and I also have the one from Hoth, which I use to pair with my UCS AT-AT because it looks real nice. And then finally, I got this one just because I heard it's the best traditional ATST, one of the best ever made according to a lot of people. So I got it way back in the day for that reason, but I never opened it for whatever reason. And so I'm just opening it today, and it happens to be the time that coincides with me reviewing all these Rogue One sets. So this is definitely going to be a banger way to kind of finish things off. This is a really cool set. It's from the same scene that the Imperial hover tank is over, where they're doing that kind of rebel fight with all the Imperials. And so this just comes out of nowhere and kind of like starts mowing down people. So it's really, really sick. Really nice to see another AT-ST in action. But yeah, gonna go ahead and unbox the set now and show you guys the contents. Fingers crossed, hopefully it's not another last video situation. I think it does sound like there's a normal set in here and everything, and hopefully the bags are all in there. I inspected the seals and it all looks good. So hopefully that is the case. But yeah, guys, really excited to show it to you guys. All right, guys. So fortunately, it looks like we got a perfectly sealed set. Oh my gosh. It's crazy now that I have to even think about this because usually when you buy sets sealed, it's not an issue. But looks like we have a total of 3 numbered bags here, all in pristine condition. Box is in pretty darn good condition too. And the instruction manual is perfect. Not even a hint of a crease on this thing. Absolutely phenomenal. Definitely the best condition Rogue One set I've gotten. Also comes with a sticker sheet. Unfortunate because I hate stickers, but it is what it is. And I think all the other sets I've had stickers. So just has a little detail, I guess. But yeah, really excited for this one. And it should be a fun build. I love my ATSTs, so this should be really awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and build it for you guys, and I'll be back when it's done. Alrighty, guys, just finished the build of the Rogue One ATST. They just call it the ATST Walker on the box, but yeah, it looks really, really great. It's definitely an ATST. I don't have too much to say about the build process. I would say it's a little bit more... I thought it was a little bit more advanced than the other ones that I've done. This is now my third kind of ATST, and I think this is the pretty much the last modern ATST that's come out. Because I think the last one that came out before that, play scale wise, was probably from Battle of Endor, and that was way back in the day. But yeah, this was the first kind of modern ATST that we got in a while, and yeah, the build techniques are great. I honestly think it's superior to the 2 that came after. So in terms of build process, I would give it a solid 9 out of 10. Very, very fun all the way through. A lot of technique, really, really strong build overall. Really, really nice. And I'll definitely go into the features in a second. But yeah, I just really, really enjoyed the build process. It took me about an hour and a half, which I think is the same length as the other 2. So pretty standard build overall for sure. Now, taking a look at the minifigures here, we'll start off on the left. So this is Baze Malbus, which honestly is kind of the prize, the main real minifigure of this set. And he looks absolutely fantastic. I love the prints on his body and everything. I love the way they did the machine gun. It's just really, really nice looking. Very intricate build, to be honest. They use like a skateboard piece there, like a tile there. It's really, really cool. The colors just definitely really pop. Kind of looks like a little bit of a Ghostbuster, but yeah, it just looks absolutely fantastic. I wish the face was a little more accurate. I think it would have been a little bit more accurate for them to kind of shape the eyes differently. But aside from that, yeah, just really, really nice minifigure. Again, definitely the highlight of this set. Probably the main one that people get it for. Next up, we have a Rebel Trooper, a nice minifigure, nothing too special, but it looks really nice. It's a bit of a back print as well. Really cool helmet. That must have been a custom mold, so really, really sweet there. And he has a little bit of a custom blaster rifle as well, so definitely a nice job on there. Not too much printing on the legs, a little bit on the top, which is interesting, but yeah, nothing super crazy there, but a very nice figure regardless. Nice that we get a Rebel Trooper in this set. Because, of course, you know, it's the Rebels fighting against the Imperials. And speaking of Imperials, that's the third figure here. This is the Hoff, sorry, not Hoff, just a generic ATSC driver. Got that little helmet on. Very basic prints, nothing really special, but looks very, very clean and nice. And definitely need him to kind of pilot his vehicle and everything. So, yeah, definitely a really cool minifigure lineup. It's a little bit small, nothing crazy. But definitely very, very well-rounded and very complete. Now, taking a look at the vehicle itself, just taking a very quick look at the aesthetic of everything. You guys kind of know the drill by now. There are some sticker pieces on here to add detail, but they blend in pretty nicely, so not really against those at all. There are some more stickers on kind of the back side here. We'll get to these in a second, but yeah, just some stickers right there, stickers right here. Just add a little bit of detail. Again, pretty minimal, I would say, for a playset, so not too bad. And then you have the actual legs themselves. They look really nice. There's definitely some exposed Technic kind of on the inner side of the leg. It's a very common thing with these ATSCs. It's just really hard to kind of plate it off. I wish they would do it, just like, you know, maybe add a couple screws right there and add like a couple extra plates, but I don't know why they don't do that, but regardless, I think it's fine, and it looks good regardless, so I don't really mind too much. But yeah, it just looks really clean. Again, from the exterior anyway, the legs look really nice and everything. Not too much weird stuff coming out. I mean, you can see some hints of blue and stuff, but yeah, aesthetically very, very pleasing. Kind of had the body here. It's nice, nothing too special or anything. There's nothing crazy going on here when it comes to greebling or anything, but it's nice. And when you look at the top section, the back, fairly minimal, nothing crazy. You know, again, you see that Technic kind of spine. The sides look really nice. I definitely really like the sides. And again, an interesting choice. This is a very common thing with this wave, I guess. They use sand blue for some reason to kind of give highlights to this thing. It is really interesting. I don't know how I feel about the decision, but it's interesting. You have a little sticker on top right here. You have these rods. Very, very cool techniques in general, just to add detail and greebling and everything. It's not the most detailed ATST ever, but it's very standard build. And, you know, you got these little things right here that actually move, so that's really nice. The one on the Hoff ATST model does not move, so it's kind of interesting. But yeah, pretty cool aesthetically overall. Definitely a pretty big fan of this. And we'll go ahead and get into the play features now. So the big kind of play feature with all the ATSTs really is the ability to spin the head. And with this one, it's no different than the others. I believe this one has full 360 range, which is really, really cool. You can kind of just spin it. It's not the most like smooth system in the world or anything, but it works pretty well. Yeah, really, really nice. Again, you kind of spin and kind of shoot. So to do shooting, you have 3 different sets of kind of guns here. So the first one you have is in the front. You can move this one kind of up and down, which is pretty neat. You know, kind of point at the rebels. You have this one on the right side, which is kind of like a double cannon sort of thingy. Pretty cool there. And then you have the one on the left side, which is kind of a bigger cannon gun, I guess. I don't know what comes out of here, maybe grenades or explosives or something, but yeah, pretty cool. And again, you can kind of spin it like this, or you can just move the entire piece. I think it's more logical to just spin this part, but yeah, pretty cool and neat overall. Again, I kind of touched on this earlier, but you have kind of a feature in here to expose, you know, the interior, so you can kind of lift the eyelids up, which is pretty neat. Again, not a feature on the Hoff ATST. And then when it comes to the legs, there is some posability when it comes to it. I'm not going to do it in this video, but there is some posability. You can kind of move it, but it just doesn't really make sense to do that because you want it to kind of stay stable. This is basically the default position you're supposed to have it at, so that's just kind of what I'm leaving it at. Again, you can kind of play around with it, but nothing too crazy. And then on the top side, right here, you can kind of open up the hatch. So that's another feature. You know, stick a minifigure in there, have them kind of peek over the top. Or if you prefer, you can go ahead and lift the entire top up, and you have a place to put a minifigure right there, which is what I'm going to go ahead and do. So I went ahead and popped my little ATST driver in there. Just gonna close the hatch now so you can drive around in peace. It's pretty neat and everything. Oh yeah, the last kind of play feature that I'd like to show off is the shooting feature. So you can kind of see at the front here, there's these two red dots, and those are actually kind of flick fire missiles, and the way you activate them is actually a very discreet kind of system. This is the same one I think that's on the other ATSTs I have, which is you press this fires a missile. You can do it twice. Really, really neat. Just nice that they have it. Again, I'm not a big play feature guy, but it's nice that it comes in this kind of play set. I'm sure it's great for kids and everything. So yeah, definitely very standard and everything. Now that I've reviewed all three, it seems like they're all more similar than different, but yeah, really neat overall. Love the minifigure lineup, love everything. So yeah, pretty cool. So overall, guys, if I had to rate this set on a scale of 1 to 10, I would definitely give it an 8 out of 10. A very solid set, you know, has a couple small flaws here and there, as with any Lego set, but you know, for this one, I think it just knocks off those 2 points. Again, it's not perfect, but it's a great set and everything. I'm glad I got this because, you know, partially helps me complete the Rogue One wave, and I think it just looks very, very visually pleasing. I will do a full comparison with the other ATST walkers in the future, but I think if you were to get only one and you were kind of agnostic about the IPs that these come from, I would say that this would definitely be the ATST to go for. I think that it is the most standard looking ATST. It has pretty much everything you would want it to do, has the coolest building techniques, and so I just think this is kind of the bread and butter sort of ATSTs. It's absolutely fantastic and definitely a really nice pickup. It's still pretty cheap, even on the secondary market and everything, so we definitely recommend it. I picked it up on eBay for about $65, which is pretty good compared to the other sets that I got. I mean, I got a kind of unsealed, I guess, hover tank for over $100, and you know, I got a TIE Striker for $120. So this, in comparison, very, very well worth it. Considering the piece count and the original price and everything, even when it's marked up, it doesn't feel like I'm getting ripped off or anything. So absolutely fantastic set. Anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoyed the video. I really had a good time making it. Definitely loved doing Rogue One sets and everything. I believe this will be my last Rogue One video for a while. However, I'm not quite done with Andor, so I got a couple videos in store, I believe, for Andor sets. Really, really excited to share those with you guys. I'm going to actually venture into kind of brand new territory when it comes to the sets too, so you'll want to stay tuned. It's going to be really interesting. First time doing certain things, and so yeah, I'm very excited to release those videos and everything. So please stay tuned. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Please give me a subscribe if you want to keep following this channel. Comment down below any feedback you have, negative or positive. I read it all. And stay tuned to Mr. Brickswag for more LEGO Star Wars content. Peace, guys.